Before I introduce my guest to you, Nana do I be me who be da. Ha! Me pesa me tiase, my ya me tiase. Hwe, aya na nyese emebu na ya ba no, nyese ye mu ade o. But there's only one thing. You see, when you talk about respect in Africa, it is built on fear. So anytime a young man rises and he's confident, he's fearless, he's dedicated and devoted to the real patterns and cause of the country, making sure the country moves on without anybody trying to re-engineer the faculties of that person. You see, Omwade. Come to think of this. Say yet your mem, na your banks, no, your synchrofwe disika. Bank ne ba ko ho na so penny men so tabiri. Or your board chairman, or your sofu penity, ya nya no foko. Ojai. Ya jano. No be so. Banks ne sika ne ina film. And ya kekase ne ya se bank na gu. Ya te ase se bank no agu. Ya je atum. Aban ne se wagu no. Documenter a free finance ministry ankasa eba ne kire se aban no aspende 16.1 billion Ghana cedis.
Africa is rich and not poor.
16.1 billion Ghana cedis. And aban se was spending on the banking sector reforms. And you know, aban ne nyade obema kwan na obi asori a wabue bank na bank apia na bank apia aban ne krase banks no edo so kra dodo e wo Ghana ha sa wote ye say banks no edo so Bank of Ghana for press conferences ni na chance say banks aye wo Ghana no edo so eti ye feel say you spending 16.1 billion Ghana cedis who converted to dollars are several billions, but yet here who say near tie krum near tie mem yo na ban se dabi said ye be ya won sika koka mu no won sabe kanti ye hye 16 billion mbi and aban ko bie aban bank sa bank no ye friend CBG aban bie CBG wie ye no be ye nim se ni na asi eno achi na France president Macron ba Ghana ha Abrante no a small boy. Now let me tell you how he became president. Makacha, the youth of this country, say you need to begin to read. Read like a running mad dog.
Captain Smart.
If you are a youth, begin to read like a mad dog. Man, magaba to anything, whatever you chance on, read. Macron, yay. Now, or the ruling party, a choir or no by any. As an like a finance secretary, like a finance minister, Kolaketwa on him. And who say 2 traditional parties to say yeah, NDC ni MPP no mo ya bola. Na me maka chom say NDC ni MPP wa ya bola. Say ampe political bin bi and someone to ngum anko jawo man to pudumu tententia. Ya betra ya bra bodo who say yeah. I am not asking for new leaders. So I am not asking we should change leaders. We are asking for competent, quality leadership. Or engineer the faculties of these 2 political parties. Adechi omu answer Macron and am finfino. To bubonkum, no budi fan, no bubonkum. What this can no chill, no show jail, no in this one that hokama. This is what the youth of this country see here. Obakaya, last 2 weeks, Abrante be frey. Now to Nyumbi, arise Ghana youth for your country. One can say arise Ghana old men and women for your country. No old man, no old woman can arise. We will have to arise. We got to arise in the morning, arise in the afternoon, arise in the evening, arise at dawn. Because the corruption is too much. Macron ba Ghana, your president in Yakukudro Jiran and Nimkachra and say, Africa, ya so ya hune ya brabo. And ya dear Biblium yabetimi atras you. Yet me when pen sa say budi yo say never yesika and never you say and never your gratitude and never your cache and then you say President can answer something na That day no ho. Me chef France president ni Macron. Me pe France pa. Me feel France for basa. That what you say Macron anim nyina agimi. Abante ohun de onye ne ho. And then your president shame the so-called African conference, so-called African summit, France. The same person na do gina nanim ka kire ne say Africa ye betumi aboye bra no. Na do say on here on fe kan che. No one bebo Africa. Allahu Akbar bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Banks na egu na emwaye no. Yes, 16.1 billion Ghana cedis no. Wakwa je say some millions of euros. Say 170 million. Nana, look, let me be sincere with you. Where we are say? Papa, where we are brutal. I know said the political pundits will just rise on social media, rise on TV, and rise on radio and all host of other platforms, beginning to defend this thing. This is a disgrace. How? If we can raise 16.1 billion, and you said before this young man that you ain't going to take any dime from him, Ebani said, and now palpable 170 million euros. Men kwate ya so de besete ya pa another bank. Ebe nana. Na menji adro ni. But let me say this on record. Obi aye nana adro. Your Excellency, ya two adro. Asofo na di wachi na wo bom pa ya ma no ka kire on say won kan kire nyame so obi ato adro. Men na menji adro di. But the ekosu pa de Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I keep telling you, I voted for you. Look, Your Excellency, Obia you withdraw. Because the Nanado, I know that you know, I know you. A4 sheet, who keke. Pabrani neni ambere anko jail. Yet the most market to yaka. You know so? This he, misapplication, and ya misappropriation. He misapplied. Yaka so Obia misapply sika. Chese, fa sika de beya Mensah ni fen. And I won't say Mensah fen no betimi atwen kakra na wo di tu mirika ba Mensah bonkum. A misapplication. Because of that, a DC nearly went to jail, even though Sikado went to capre. Eba say, Your Excellency, eba say. And then you can't say corruption at theater. You see, yenjai china. Abba. Everybody say, oh, you see, you push the youth to arise. And I keep telling you, we would one day definitely arise. We are not arising to destroy. We are arising to build our country. We are not arising to kill, but we would arise to save. We are not arising to throw away the integrity and the beautiful destiny of this country, but we are rising to protect and defend our country. The old men and women, you can't do anything anymore. Motama cham. There can somebody the number no mada. Na ya no an saying amen. Akwada ketwe ya obegina wanima. Wototo bi mane nui. Me gina radio so bo wa ba so sa Nigeria media. Almost the whole Africa, everybody was congratulating you. This morning I was listening to some radio stations and TV stations in Nigeria. They were mocking you about saying Nigeria president make catch now on also koya. To make sure that Nigeria we are suffering. We need a lot of money to prevent Boko Haram. They are disturbing us. They're not impact. Nonsense! Ukasakura ma unkwada hospital na se obewu awu. Nigeria, a country, Africa, every year, every day, every year, every day Nigeria pompe 673,000 your friend say barrels of crude oil.
Africa is rich and not poor.
Nigeria is supposed to raise 1.1 billion
Africa is
US dollars a day. 1.1 billion a day. Like this, one day. Go to Nigeria and see. People are sleeping on the streets. The youth are garnishing and massaging their talents and their future. And you sit on the surface of this continent and nobody wants us to talk. We'll not stop talking. We are fearless this time. Go to Congo and check what's happening over there. Cobalt. That is supposed to provide Congo $2 billion every month. Now Congo is telling the whole Africa that they can't take care of cobalt. They sold it to a USA company. Yay. Then the company gets to their country. Now one can say bank say country ni muni na abuano. Now we're raising sika or country. No, the tree are buying the car up front. Within 3 months, no, we're raising $7.2 billion. We know what's happening China. What a shame, Africa. What a shame, Africa. Zambia man penny to ho. Zambia man penny and then otihobi. Wa yen duku kakraka. Aso bia watu amenema sorry. Duku kakraka te Macron akwada fiai enim wa bra Zambia. Zambia natural resources are more United Nations. Because of the resources I'm wanting, yamba refugee camp emba Zambia because Zambia alone can take care of Africa $3 billion a month.
He is smart. He is unique. He
and then Zambia,
Captain Smart.
Togo kura ye chemo. Now look at Togo, look at Benin, look at Mali, look at Ivory Coast. You know what is happening now? These so-called Francophone African countries. But I have told you, and I am repeating, the next 10 years ahead of us, Africa cannot contain the African. The next 10 years ahead of us, Africa cannot contain the African. They don't understand how me. Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, Mumbo French-speaking African countries, Mumbo musika no. Mo taxes na mo jiji wo country nim. The last time I checked, now a small country like Ivory Coast, what me put it together over 17.9 billion euros. What do you call France?
Rich and not poor.
Togo ajene there, Benin aje, Mali aje, all the French-speaking countries in Africa. Mo jiji mo taxes ni we are. France na mo kosie musika. Mose masan emra sa momfa musika taxes na magigi wo mo mamu ho no momfa saa sika ne megu ho na wodi usika na kogu ho wi a wo mo kwese wo mo kwaje sika ne bia na ya twe paper to manim ti bon koso African penifo mu tinya adwuma say wa wo sika na wo gigi ye no age wo gigi say loan ya sa the interest e de si ho de ama we say nya jimi na nya baye na nya bro na nya tiwia na ye den a and you are asking the African youth not to talk. We will not stop talking. One was say Togo has started cransuo fi France. One was say Togo cransuo. Are you aware? Now Togo cransuo. Togo cransuo. What about the southern parts of Ivory Coast? They are now telling us that ensuo asese wonya num no wonya nsuo ne num biom. Adentra abai nisika. Water production at Ivory Coast. So now they are importing water from Ivory Coast. But come to think of this stupidity. Sika ni wa wo de be yensuo na wonya sika wo he na odi importing nsuo. Ebe. Ah? Sika ni wa ye de be wura water production. Ba wutimi nya sika e de kra nsuo. At the buyer. Common sense will tell you won't you wumba school fees won first weekend with your birthday. This is nothing but common sense. Africa. 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 How many times did I call your name? You are gradually asking your young able men and women to rise against you. My dear President, before the run-up to the 2016 elections was on UTV, he said something. That in the Arab land, a very young man who could not find a means of living his life set himself ablaze. That brought about the Arab Spring. And the entire northern part of Africa was in turmoil. Nana, do you want that to happen before you can really know that Africa, the youth in this country, we are tired of the Bangladeshian style of you politicians in this country? The typical old dilapidated monarchical colloquial thinking. That's not what we need anymore. We need pragmatic and practical ways of solving the problems.
Captain Smart.
Say number to me here Ghana to an extent say now 170 million euros say nibi. Say now mine to say Ghana. You 2 gold, 2 diamond, 2 bauxite. Yes, say a bauxite. Akwaji palpable 2 billion. Wabra J.A. 4 times. Nanadu, you were the foreign affairs minister. You were part of the team that went to Switzerland and signed that document that the effects bauxite what you Ghana hano the calculation it's more than 38.7 billion US dollars. How come today?
Are not poor.
It's been given to China for $2 billion. You were part of that delegation. You know, I know. You know that I know.
Are not poor.
I remember that day, that beautiful suit you were wearing, that blue-black, double-breasted suit with your blue shirt. When you wore that red tie, I asked you a very simple question. Why? I said, when you are serious, you put on a red tie. Now, what happened to that red tie? That seriousness. That today, my dear country, Ghana, country ya ye wonua rosewood nkwa baako $18,000 one rosewood ya tena ho ma braya bia bane na krom ha se ye frɛ no asha hwan we be bu rosewood ni nyina ye se ye be ye den ye no me se rosewood no ye ndɛn ye see rosewood no ye take committee ye tro me krata tententen see ye be invite me say china na be invite you say de chi na be invite you they know say I have the information committee na ntimi anya adwuma say rosewood and a China started the furniture at the call Europe esan so de ko at the call afa extension officers ye de Ghana secretary ni wo mo aso o mo na free de ko China men kasa bi I have a wild guest. He's more than a wounded lion like me. A great youth activist. Also a political victim. I didn't do kumi prekumba no. Ebi na tono the same thing na tumba me. I am enjoying my political suspension.
He is smart.
Yeah, and I ma try to me say DPO say then you me say I am enjoying my political suspension. So what I say? I am just enjoying it. But we will never shut up. We'll keep talking. My friend, my brother, my nana, my Ofasi as well. His name is Okatakyie, Afrifa, Mensah. Jadem. Akwaba. Yeah. Na bibi ebo kode.
And then the father also.
Nya doba me ho yedo.
But was a jadem with jadem.
Oh,
But unsa kamia elite. Ana anope me catchere o say e dey ya wo medum light wa.
O kan you.
In fact my friend kan say dey ya wo medum light. Ampani ampa ye start ya na foi. We generator is so but me catchere obi a wo hwe say amre say no amount of water can quench the fire.
I tell you.
Anna, Victor Hugo, a France poet once said that there is no army in the world strong enough to stop an idea whose time has come. No matter the tactics, no matter the army, the strength of the army, you cannot stop an idea when it is birth already. Edi ene baya ye be kan adwene. Na we na me be me hunu se signboard bi abu. Edi na cause traffic akra.
Signboard ebu.
Me ko hwe ya chro signboard no so Ghana beyond 8 nams ya ja ebebu an se ebebu. Ebebu an se ebebu. Because wa bre signboard na si wa what is na na do conference no si chirema me say. Obi mu nkom ba bi. Yes Ghana beyond 8. So dey me no ka say ye president me no me no campaign man no. We gina France dey o kana Macron anim 170 euros. I mean, this is sickness. Yeah, young can say it here. And what would the two platform is a real men. Say, platform no for so could you badge my badge you Michel Kwame Sefa mo ministers and name for so. Now, what the two so say, many banana bako a comment say, national security be on alert. And then you arrest this one. Me catch Ghana for say. National security to be arrested will be a Yabeka will be a Benjamin dear Pepe, Yabeche, and will be a dear members of parliament, Benyomo dear, presidency, Benyomo dear, I am for Benyomo dear, but national security to mean to be a. It was all mine is a Bienina, a pet. Medica Cadabia, me person me reading the preamble of the constitution. Was it we the people of Ghana, in exercise of our natural and inalienable right, give to ourselves a framework of government into Wangasa the people of Togo, Wangasa the people of Nigeria, also the people of Ghana. And Oba and Wangasa Sebia Fonko and Asante Fonko, Wangasa Chim Fonko and Asebia and another grow for we, all of us. It will mind will be our shares the same.
Exactly.
It in your backing argument. And your backing argument. Papa, but on our frame.
Something better fine here.
And then the answer.
I'm trying just to cool down small, but being cool down. Because I brand we no cool down. That may be cool down. Baby, I make quite a dream be on Biano and Nabeko. Well, I want to ask you no part to Ghana. Sir, Mensah Koba.
Before, sir, now what can be about leadership in Africa and its problems? You see, Africa does not have leadership.
Oh, there be no.
You need leadership.
There be.
We have bunch of people who believe that it is their birthright to be in control and take over from the white man as the new colonizers.
Asa?
We don't have leadership. And I'll give you an example. You see, there is one article, one Peter Eke, or see colonialism and the two publics of Africa. We will go into that. But before that, Opa Afwenika Kai Africa Mwa, Oko Nairobi, Kenya. President or believe is ne papa ne mrebi waje eye fa ahudie ma country eye ne birthright right oba eye lume Togo akwa wo ho no susu ne papa na je eye fa everywhere including Ghana certain people. Now let me read a portion of the Peter Eke colonialism and the two publics in Africa. Also one, most educated Africans are citizens of two publics in the same society. On the other hand, they belong to the civic public. You can't civic public, we are talking about politics and its accoutrement. Or say civic public, which they gain materially and which they only grudgingly give. It's politics. Materially, they benefit from there, but they are so immoral. And for that matter, they don't give anything to the people back. Now, of course, on the other hand, they belong to the primordial public from which they derive very little or no material benefit, but to which they are expected to give generously and to give materially. Etu omukwa achem, omukwa asante, omampenida da kufuana were powerful in politics and powerful in chieftaincy. Ofa na nado dan kwa kufuadwa were powerful in politics and powerful in chieftaincy. Ewa achem. Ofa gabiasare ochireda kwa were powerful in politics, powerful in chieftaincy. Now Africa is the only continent in the world that you have two publics. Before the invasion of the white man from 1472, now you were a system of governance.
That's right.
And a white man best slappe on top of ours, making ours come beneath. So there was governor general, there was governor, to the chieftaincy, which was the last form of rulership. Meanwhile, chieftaincy no yet the representation of the people. Now let me quote what he said. When it comes to ideologies, over here, they intentionally do that. They want to distort history so that people will know that their fathers and their great-grandfathers were the people who actually gave us independence, and for that matter, it is their birthright to rule. So Peter Eke said ideological distortions and abuse of truth usually indicate a degree of insecurity on the part of group that promotes such ideologies. Now, of course, I will say, now we have a colonial ideology of legitimation. Whereas we have another legitimation which is anti-colonial ideology. The African bourgeois ideology of legitimation. Eti legitimation, abrofuni susu se omo, Africa ya omo dia. And they are so parasitic, say, whether they are here in presence, in person, or they are not, they will never leave us. And unfortunately, Africa is suffering from a disease called autoimmune disease. A doctor for the say you can't autoimmune disease. On say ni panu hunem diana kwado, okay? You will be a friend of a blood cells. I say a fight against yaria ebem. There is a type of disease when the red blood cells and the white blood cells they tend to fight the organs of the body. The American Africa is suffering from autoimmune disease. And Kaoko or Membia continent Biana, the educated elite in the country and on the continent, and common serving as the white blood cells, the red blood cells, fighting against diseases coming from outside. But in our case, one more educated elite in fighting in the interest of the people have turned around to attack the organs of the people. They have turned around to attack the organs of the people, and I refer to these people as the white black cells. They are white black cells because they look black in skin, but very white in thinking. So instead of protecting us, they tend to fight against the organs of this continent. Okanyema bebri. Already I say one. Mami ready a African bourgeoisie's legitimation ideology. And Crawford believe us or more papa no more nana no more ye great or more family ye different from ya ye free bonfachi say any as Santiago na no say we must worship them. Now I say African high standards. African bourgeois. You can African bourgeois now omo ko school e wa London omo ko tra number 10 Downing Street omo ko US no omo car de keke ka ho omo can brofo be tra TV so keka omo na nsi so shishan socks na ya wo shi na they believe that they own the continent after the white man was gone. And that is where the problem is. Now I say the African bourgeois, Western educated Africans try to show that they are as good as their former colonizers. The system nana kwesi broni di bumaino okoye there is no overhaul. The same system you use. There is no total overhaul of the system. The same police force no a good barracks. E wa bre the modern day practices in UK, in US, in Germany. And it's a police lives with the people. You cross the same way Asabi, Tama McLean, set up the police system in 1844. No, and that was shown the same thing we do. Was it the African bourgeois, Western educated Africans try to show that they are as good as their former colonizers. They try to prove that they are equals but never betters of their former rulers. African bourgeois is very uncomfortable with the idea of being different from their former colonizers and in matters regarding education, administration and technology. One suspects that he is unconsciously afraid that he may not be qualified to be an effective replacer of the former colonizers. What it simply means is that no one that's no UK. No one that's no hospital UK. No one that's pay the best of education UK. Because they believe that they are more or less white but only black in skin. Now I say independence strategies. The fight for independence was a struggle for power between the two bourgeois classes involved in the colonization of Africa. It was not about issue of difference of ideas. It was money or more masters, and there is no difference in ideas. On the 6th of March 1957, when Kwame Nkrumah was declaring independence, and we've not been able to popularize that phrase. Or say, we need to change our attitudes, our minds. He knew why he said that. Because Onimsi enjoy freedom, no comes at a price. We cannot continue to have the mentality of a white man and think we can do what is right in this continent. So amukwa Macron and yeah, because they want to go to Macron or father. It is simply because they feel they are part of Macron and his family.
Stupidity.
Yes. So Owie was say promise of independence, but Meka want to also it was not about issue of difference in ideas regarding moral principles, but rather the issue of which bourgeois class should rule Africans. Africa bourgeois had no basis of legitimacy, independency of capitalism. As we stand now, there is no leadership in Africa.
There's no leadership.
There is no leadership. And yes, Sadia Mentias 54 bunch of old men will rise up and say, small boy Macron afraid. Say yamra. Na yamme finding ways and means of what? Finance and solving the problems
of Africa.
I mean how? I don't get it. Father, I don't get it. You see, we sit on a continent. It has everything in this world.
Oh, everything.
Everything in this world. How can you have 54 votes at a United General Assembly? Okay? 54 votes, United General Assembly. Continent, ayache mumwa 54 bunch of old men's club. Etikamuko do UN Assembly. The Amoba Kabian move vote 54. More power. How can you have a 17% of the world's population and largely about 60% of this population is the working force, the youth? How can you have a year half of the world's gold supply and still Macron is for fraud? Sebra. How? Now when we say African Peninsula, I can say na yesu ye summit. Ye frɛ a Russian president. Say wamrani ane ne summit da.
Dabi.
When we say African Peninsula, I can say ye frɛ a America de ever say. Biden. Sebra ni ane onye summit da. I don't get it. Mentiasi.
Okwaya Africa Summit of France.
Africa Summit ne ko mu chusu ba bi on be no ko in France. Meanwhile, you sit on a 90% of the world's platinum supply. 90%. You sit on 9.6% of the global oil output. You sit on a 2/3 of the world's manganese. You sit on 35% of the world's uranium. You sit on 33% of the diamond supply of Africa. You sit a 75% of the world coltan and 54 votes are United Assembly. If you still sit down and you cannot find a way to solve your own problems, then you people are sick.
Africa is rich and not poor.
They are sick. So we don't have leadership.
There's no leadership.
There is no leadership. And a bunch of old men who think say omo papa dom na G freedom no ma occupy positions. Instead say omo be solving the problems of Africa with homemade tailored solutions, you know. It is not like that. And then IMF will say, and the World Bank will say, IMF unkan ya wudi oni agene.
There be ya dream no IMF for.
Ekomo de wo man for. Ekomo de wo man for. What's the IMF for say employ omo ntimi employ omo. Enti na ya kasa o kasa omo say we only talk, we don't profess solutions. And ya ba bua profess solutions.
Na solutions ben na one person
No, and ya ba bua profess solutions.
You see, I have said it and I want to repeat. We a leader, somebody like Honorable Yao Osafo Mafo. You've been a finance minister before.
Right.
You've been an education and sports minister before.
Right.
What time on your board we didn't say, I said, the whole Africa, no, even the world, the crowd, per se, say, we are #1 finance minister that time. That time, no. And then we are senior economic advisor to the president. Still a German niho. Ube catch the Ghana for you and say public sector no I choke.
Right.
There's no way to open it up. But kasana yentimi for solution bano. Where we are senior advisor to the president no. Solution ben na wodiaba. Public sector de mo choked no. Wo baba ya no course name.
Unya baby de share.
Yeah, unya baby de share. Look, senior. Africa, Ankasa yet we hear. I was having a chat with a friend, Nigerian journalist.
Right.
When him said 1980s, bro, for the year one said, one better tackle Nigeria, any Ghana no.
Right.
They penny for Tonyum, one more sa. And they are mad to quine, and to talk my guests, and they mad that rough. It's a share African leaders are. No more from 1980 na edibesi be 2004 bano obia wo ne yirachi
if say ko for gene no mo de
obia ne oba foforo wo ne yirachi check the records wo bebre time na na broni ne te odwen no na ye nkrofo no so dwena wo ho edie kwala die sa eno kwa ne ade na wodwe ho eh abrofo trans di na ohun say no we need to tackle Nigeria and then we tackle Nigeria with we catch Nigeria say devalue your currency
right
eti Nigeria for te hwa na yasman kwada totofewa no maba from Harvard from Oxford devalue your currency devalue your currency devalue your currency and we tra ho na Nigeria devalue wo currency ni sa eti do 1984 na Nigeria companies akese na wo wa na wotimi e manufacture niema within Nigeria na Nigeria for tono Okatakyie na factories ni nagu then Nigeria started importing from Europe and America. When we are not tackle Ghana, say Ghana, the only thing we can do is to change the taste of Ghana. When I read that document, me say taste. I said people are thinking. Say Ghana, the idea says say yama womunjai some bedua aduane e wo nkrom. Ne yama mbetwa aduane free baby.
Right.
So they took our mankani, they took our akau. Womo fa ye kwegwemi. Womo fa ye mpampa. Efa ye koko. Womu ye ombre bibi e friend Syria. Ghana fa kwatena America na omba no maso Syria aba.
This Syria. Etinam gacho say we will do homegrown policies to solve our own problems. We are crazy people.
Till today, because there's no leadership on the surface of this planet, Intino. Say this continent, Inti. Say yes school feeding program kra wo Ghana ha. Ji ye kra mu. Meanwhile, courage kwashiga. Time on man penida that Rollins. Sister ye sika $21 million ma buy be a friend Miss Cotton. Or this sika ko ye kwato golden bed da so. E wo Chicago na ototo na bambara so eji na ni sa. Jay Kufo buy at that time no. Courage Kwashiga started a human rights project, making sure say ni ye betumi adua mo, ni enya mo edi. Say we share the west of Africa, Ghana na ye wo asase a e betumi adua mo na adua ni ye pa. But yet ha na ye de almost $870 billion ekra emo every year.
In fact, in 2018, we imported food to the tune of $2.4 billion US dollars. Now, you have 1.2 billion population on African continent. China and your population would digger amongst themselves. It is a 54 heads, 54 bunch of old men.
Yes.
Say, Sabi Predia Sanyan Sani Agwenu and Yamedema, Kwame Nkrumah Mani di Ruli, you know. Say, why can't you now do things among yourselves? What is it as the African country be a Kobobi free in the African country?
Dabi.
What be that? And so yet, I say, you were about 66% of the world arable lands. Tienye, ya kabebi ya dear diane, amani ya. Area si ya kwa ya benina, adia ye import more. Na ye say sika wo home more. Diane. Now we were 66% of the world arable lands. Now what na homa a country a Ghana ketwai importing food to the tune of $2.4 billion US dollars. $2.4 billion US dollars. Wouldn't be able to make or my women. And so you're getting and you have professor solutions a master bisa bimpenifono and ya kasakeke. Maybe Tnasi Debiana Medasoria. Bitimi Williams as a mayor of Creator and Bofu. Bitimi Williams are going to ban Machuratua, are going to ban Machuratua, and these are a year a junior. Sabi, you don't need to go to Harvard. Junior, you don't need to go to a year, your friend say Oxford. Agina, you don't need to go to anywhere before you get it.
No,
but unfortunately, once I want to fly to Munawoba, Unya Tinama Ubedra, na the woman announcement na catch us so Yadamasi. They will leave every rubbish behind. It is don't cost you any no.
Rubbish leave it in the flight.
What kind of people are we? Wamaya Yatimwa, ye develop it or Maya. I say ye ni biara na ochena nchirima ba ababe ye ni ye gata ye ne basa ye kwanya ye ne basa
gata ye onam so bai
bibia ye bia basa
me say na me reho ba ko pa.
Meanwhile, Captain, you see ye developing country. We want to be like the developed world. Etike we are so person o yesu obi a na namo a wo tutuo na ye de udi akire etike ye hwe ye de ye bon kura no. How do they do their things? Omo ye kwanya omo ye ne sei omo de iron rods gu ase omo ye ne ye omo ma ne che ye ye beto aba na dome kwabenya ha ne ye de sapete me ba betena nkran eye 10 years ni me hu se dome kwabenya road leading to Pokuase ye kura ne ye more than 7 times in 10 years ye more than seven brother say ye more than kwase bro ne ye bia no aye ne say timi di 50 years Kwame Nkrumah na muso wonye the best president, but he is the organic leader of this country no. Waba ye wotimi ye tamamoto we di 50 years. Esa ye anama kofa eye beauty me ne chippens. E de tete eye kwan e de concrete na ye mu. What kind of leadership is this? What kind of leadership? And you see, when we talk and we say it, it is a fight against them and us. We are never fighting against any of you. We are not in competition with any of you. We are only pleading that you should change your leadership style. Sa leadership style na free kojoho mo de mayenwa as a mo ye favor by serving the people. We are saying that the Ghanaian is getting angry. So change it. And you get angry because the old system na kwasi buroni jama no a favor wuntini ye kan na obuafu. But nobody is talking about say yes MPP regime change by. Yes MPP ni anisi ba nye the same thing. Nemom leadership style na mo de mayenwa se mo be beto aba na mo de sapete kwan aba begu ne yempa bio. There must be a cogent measure and national policy will be able to follow. And yes MPP aba wa contract okọ. And NDC aba wa contract okọ. We ba went to us because he did 10% na won we. That is not the kind of leadership we are asking for. Yanka say be obi nko to abentia obi. Ya tutia wa fine. Nemom wo ba wo leadership style necessano. That is all the fight is about. The fight is not about say and you percent MPP free so na NDC ba na NDC free so. Yes, see will leadership style and you see there is danger brewing, Captain. The youth are getting angry, and Gabriel Chedako as usual of him, a person or shifted the conversation to say because of the hardship of aftermath of COVID-19, 18 and Krofo Bofu. And I'm a catcher and Crawford said, Nipa no wamubuafuno, and your COVID-19 hardship. Debbie, and your fool now, Matumuno. Debbie, Nemum omubuafu as a result of say, Wamucha Wamonia, Yana China the Shasia. And so China caught 20 years ago near the Dubai Mawananka Ompe, and so then Dubai caught. And so that's market time. And also COVID Nibi call. It is leadership no amodiama from 92. Yes, and I'm pride here from 1992. This is the longest serving democracy, but it is not sustainable. And something is brewing. If the leaders can see that the youth are getting angry, I am sure that they will sit up. And you have professor solution to our roads. You have professor solution to our Greek. You have professor solution. And you see, these are homegrown policies to solve our problems. We don't need IMF. You don't need World Bank. These international bodies were intentionally created to control Africa.
But you come to think of it. Say IMF bets my baby papa bi amba Africa. I don't in America Bobby sent free IMF, no Bobby sent free China.
Good.
You see, sometimes I look at the penny for no me show on dina me raho and now the few minutes be a minyaye. Na me share the so-called Africa summit now we of France no. Senior. Me ra hwa ma na me ye me ho hwe enye yi na me commit no ti me fa achimot overhead so wo hu sa drainage na je ekufo ye no alajo ho no ebu agum asai to an extent say me bisa me ho senti ye ni nyansani bia wo kroyim ebu agum be 5 years ago
ye timi tena wa
ye ni nyansani bia
ade ne san ne to
ye nyansani bia
o come so ye timi
Attachie be ye Minister of Works and Housing. Eka kire me se wu kodwiri nima ana na ado fie esi ho. Kodwiri nima
na ya no villaggio.
Ni ya no villaggio. Ye posi America for dan atenten. That's nonsense.
But it is doable.
But oriye ye no wonim de esi ye. Ye born to ja kakra no twen to san say oh there be just ana na me pa kire. Because na ye na no fafa. I don't know they
need anything.
Now, this 54 bunch of old men who are actually begging to think. Brains now your leaders no was say no. I'm sorry with all apologies. 50% a woo.
But you see, unfortunate.
And you see, look, I was looking at Buhari talking.
How can Buhari be the leader for the most strongest African nation in the world?
I was looking at Buhari. Yeah, look,
at his age, he's leading us to where? Grave or where?
When Buhari was talking about nationalization in Nigeria and Ghana, said you, that's my God. I want to say industrialization in Ghana and Nigeria need a lot of boost. We have tried everything and we need more money to do. Ordinary Then it got to Sir Africa Aquakrabaki on Suchi.
And you are quite no.
Oh, Massa.
They are Obaya or Manco for who here for nothing. No.
Buhari another voice in Manukra can answer them. And you see, they have forgotten, sir. A mebunu ebufuo. A mebunu ebufuo. Woman be your friend Rubina, Mensah, or Pennsylvania University, or one of their old lecturers. She's now 98 years. Or throw baby kitty to Twitter. And as it stands, over 700,000 comments. And a war assembly say. Or say one thing she has ever regretted doing under the sun is allowing one of her great sons to visit Africa.
Send it to India.
Okay. Or say when the son visited Africa, he was better off. When he returned, his brain had been corrupted. Because he did not mingle with the right thinking youth. He mingled with the African politician. The son did not mingle with the right thinking youth.
He mingled with the African politician.
Mingled with the African politician. What the woman was trying to say is that the African politician have refused to think.
Captain, you see, medical can say more beer money say a yantokwa between yang and yemiano. It is a fight between us and a system. So system and benefit of the yen changing in any case. How can we continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results? So there must be a total overhaul of the system.
Garbage in,
the way I'm now yet meet now maimu Emma a Ministry of Sanitation. Edward Mine Sika Echo taught a year dustbins ba now what donated by many. How can you donate to the people with their own taxes and money? But the governance in the people has made it look like us for a favor by serving us. You are not doing the people any favor. You are serving the people because the people have given you your almost sovereign will, and they have added taxes on top of it.
Ministry of Sanitation.
To think. How can you write it donated by Ministry of Sanitation? Donating to
the people of Ghana.
I mean, how? It doesn't happen anywhere. And the solutions by Yabeko Agric. And you see, the problem of Africa. Africa is the continent that has all the leaders. Muslim visited other countries here. 1.2 billion population, of which about 420 million of them are young and ready to work. And so many you create your money, the politician bottom. Uko bomfachi as here, what they are popular. Etimomu too. No moves away. You're creating human social politicians bottom. And to kwa brochire and politician and whoop you may so called ho. And Kolani we are school a year in the year out for the past 10 years. Yet they a year more than 100,000 youth graduates are free a
275,000 a year.
And year in year out. Yakas a national a year servicer. Omoko Tretna office near Sumo Momokoto a year Bruning Katias for 1 year. Meanwhile, developing the brain of your people and conscientizing them to think like Africans and find solutions to our problem. Your security service now holiday.
W.
Can they train these people?
W.
The customs, the immigration, the police. Can they train these people?
When NDC
and when you train these people, Captain, what happens is that now say open recruitment into our agencies. You don't need any politician to bring you anything. They can't train you at the time I year train you already no. Now you pick it out or be good. Good after 6 months or 1 year you try how to gather intelligence and be able to feed the national intelligence unit. Etidabia will be ya dio babia. And I'm saying nipa nanya intelligence training kakrano. Obetimi dictate say akwa ya wababetina empotemu hai. Watina ha me hu say opeso odi bone. No we feed the national grade of intelligence unit. Yeah debi. ye de just ye transia na ye be for police for ya friend say hey politician minister wo bra but jisika wo for two bra wo for because ye person ye what kind of people are we? What kind of system is this? What kind of system is this? In any case, yes, you're a developing nation. And a developing nation, Captain here, West Ufia, Etiajuma Wahani less. As compared to about 3, 4, 5 years, and now we shall see a Wusi. Exactly. Numbers in for her, plumbers for her, carpenters were her, Obiawa. It is Obi Sinifia, a Juma or home more chance was if in a week. Etiquette developed world, any developing nation. Baby, I send Kajuma or more. Am I a development? Unfortunately, the same system of education akwasibro ni jama na enchire ye apart from ye tebrofono. That is what we are continuing. In any case, some person who educate you man for now, you should be focusing on employable skills. And then yet me da o makwabra ni timi convert all the polytechnics a chire eyensa anujuma into university. What kind of absurdity? Highest level of absurdity. Employable skills, carpentry, masonry. That is what we use to build a nation.
A developing nation.
A developing nation. And so yes, Kofi Niyama is going to school. One is going to school.
Jesus,
What kind of system is this? Yes, Max Weber say. You call game pay there lecturers and say one quoted the Max Weber can ye and quoted the Woodrow Wilson can ye. Max Weber who 1871 make ya okay ya member can is an day. And so one quote here, you catch us wabon. What kind of sick nation is this? One man for ni here carpentry, they here masonry, you here a developing nation for Juma. Said you better me develop your mind a plan ye. But the leaders of this country is very far from the people, so they cannot profess homegrown policies to solve our problems. Exactly. Me who ye kasabi sabi who develop your maya. Baby, our central business point to war. I want to call this civil societies ekogu. A civil servant in ekogu. Etikia Accra, business point of this nation, your central Accra, meboa.
That's right.
And sasia ben ho ye rage, cantonment, and the eke ka homeboa. Etinka one in ye see high-rise buildings. Emma civil servant netina trem no almost sorry no po mo ho ye ha etimi akwadwuma. Enso nsase ho nyina amato ama mo ne mabusuafo etitimu ho. Na mu si da ama civil servant na mu de ko seglemi. Eti civil servant ne be sorry afi seglemi a oba no onika obetina totro mu aba bedru 2 to 3 hours.
Na boy 11.
Obedru na boy 11 wa bre. Wo bie ne wache mu obedi wache na wo wie ya wa ya adwuma 2 hours. Na wa sorry abesena kofie because wa nkonche mo beto traffic. What kind of nation is this? Certain people have captured the nation and they don't want anybody to talk because the system benefits them. Okoka wa mo say na obianka so person ye president obianka so person lead your mind bebia. We are telling you to change the system of governance. Now COVID-19 aba. We are there the come beba. E come na de beba no. You don't need to import food. You don't need IMF. You don't need France to tell you what to do. 66% of the world arable land. Why can't we think? A Greek problem says how person solve ya akanana do here so call France baby asase yantam ne wo bomfachi asase yantam ne wo Santiago na yen chance ye no for state farms na Kwame Nkrumah de buy yen go back to state farms. Yet me try madasani kachere ye say wo ba besi kaya ye hostel e wo circle. Wo besi kaya ye hostel de are. Muko UK ko US kaya ye wo. Muko US ko US no. You want to legitimize illegality because you want votes. Meanwhile, the entire Marantier Maba were free to move. Every Laura, every Ermo, Eba Yane is as a result of say Jumani ho, and young crying a yomofe, and young pom from an mobile petty. It's so be creating yuma. Yes, a year, one district, one factory. Yan Fadin Yanasa me Pishon crying. Yadu Combo Fachiase, Yadu Co to Mujakeche, Yadu call Laura, Yadu call Ermo, Yadu call a yes, a Sandema. Said ya and you to moving free once I maybe you. And she had the idea because of populism approaching it. Yes, I will be in a company one crania cocha, yes, one district, one factory. One, if you want to solve the problem, we need to go back into state farms. We need to invest in animal rearing. But why ye in Prekoni, why ye in Ponchina Vienquano, so beton ye watching. Ah, me were for Kabakota, Captain. Send me my ye in Prekwe. Anka, what is my business wanting to worry my head with selling of the mpreko? And so nation ni plan biya ma obiya ye di ope. And one see a biya ye port wano and then crofo ekra nioma a ye preko force. First me no ka say e ma ti me kwa as far as wadru ekopem preko aba beton. And then ye biya ye port wano ma politician bi e make sure say ono dey say bi preko force every China ba. Eti mani nkobio ombekwa akoto eye de ehye fridge because eno kwa ye cheaper than the live one. Eti kamene wa yansha CNC abattoir is not about slogans, one district, one factory, one this, one that. We are talking about real policies. Ubesi abattoirs in all the regions. Said ye be ya will be a year afuo wie na oyem preko ni ponchi wi a on ha ne ho se oba koton antika state no ye be ko ne farm ho ne akwa akoto ne aba be solota ne afrizi bi na afrizi bi ya ton bi live o pepreko ato ni kwa so kokodo me market o ko abato ho abenya live one. That is how we build a nation. Ya de bu achi bi ni ye betena sia ma de waye mpreko no waye frustrated no wajai and me no ka say me lease me mpreko farm no for 10 years because I cannot even get anything out of it. Ye wi aye make sure say yenzo ni wo mine no e ba ne farming na we shouldn't do banche body pay second aso farming. We need to zone the country. And they nyansafo akwa che nkrofo enyansafo se nkrofo ye galamsey yakwa akwachi the only solution that comes to their head buga solution, unnecessary solution, and it's yen twa to excavate
ne body den
excavator na wadwene excavator ono na nanto ko afumu excavator ono na ko si isuo ni mu say no that's a need ne say no with excavator no it is how person punish obi a enye excavator na woje ye eyesen ka adwene ba utirim say ye fa mie the river banks nim okọ America George Washington bridge the nsuo kakraka so nye nsuo na twa ne kwan wo nipa de seni na dwene ye ana wo say ye mie nsuo nim kakra etinki ye de nsuo no ye de kosiwa ne ye de excavators na nkrofo ndi ase no ye de tim say de be ya next time nsuo no betimi aye bebre wom na ye we are the banks of the river no ye zone dia ye farming, proper farming.
And then you share excavator.
Yes, share excavator because we be again and say, yes, yes, share excavator, and that is the solution. Now, yet to my mama said, you yet me that sorry, yes, say empire, 37. It is soldier for Timiko Jina, you shoot empire. What kind of sick nation? What kind of leadership at every level is this? What kind of people are this?
You shoot empire.
What things show him, with him 50 feet wide, 50 feet down? Ensure better more. Yes, you be populism approach say one village, one dam. One village, which dam? Ensure no what that Timuman microphone na yen lay proper irrigation system to the farms. One village, which dam? After we are, ye zone we are, yama zero tax system to certain areas. Oko tumuja keche ohia wo ho. Oko ermo ohia wo ho. But we must be able to say ye be man krofo akọ bia adwuma ama nkrofo aye. Ene ye ka say, we must say bu be so set company ye ko school bomfa chi ase. Yes, one of the factors I will consider nearness to a raw material.
No.
Ni aka kiro say eye ruo sensu ruo si ye ya na na do fie nanim ho ye nya nka so quota akura mani ba ye in 1 year ya ka so be 3. Enso kwan ya kwokrabo quota wo mu hu chippens da. Kroni di quota nso ye hu chippens da.
Hu quota da.
Hu quota da. Enso ni di quota. E wonso na banche about 30% of banche a free a eastern region a bank nyina free ba. Opa kwotwo bas na bu so mo krabo quota banche wo ha ye de wotwo ba e won kra about 30% every krabo quota obekọ na mai anti modern no mo maka o mo tu banche egu kwa ho na o munya ka ama ne nkofa me na me hisu tundu ade kwafum wonim edu ba bi a me duru oto ase na yesa me pack fa moto tundrawo entimi nkọ eti wan de ne ka ba kofa niam na ba banche ne timi gu wa na pro. What kind of sick nation is this? Eti ewia government have to create room for more PPP, proper PPP. And yet the chesika di no public private partnership. Yama incentives. Obi opesu obi adwuma otumu jakache no yama ni zero tax no nko bi adwuma no employ nkofo ho. As compared to obi oten clan, obi adwuma no won clan tax system ni should be higher than that of tumu jakache. And no be ma kwan ma nkofo ko tumu jakache akọ bi adwuma ma mrante ne mamba wa no omo ma ha.
There be hanya congested view.
So rural urban migration can be solved with this. the enti akaya yo for ni free eye tumuja keche eba no it is because say oni adwuma wo ho o adwuma wo ho ba bedan kran
there be abaden
it is state farms na ye be create no ye be make sure say sa mrante ne maba wa we yam promise o say every month be be ma even 1,000 Ghana Nemom out of 1,000 Ghana no, you bet 200 for a senate, you bet 2 save for this, a 2 baby and year 500 a show butum. Nemom ano pebia car be farm the Marco farms, a boy we are 12 or Mapo Babeda. Who bet me any other Jumaka home, and the youth will not come and do Kaya in Accra. You don't need IMF to do this. You don't need World Bank to do this. But unfortunately, World Bank in kind, IMF in kind, it's in here to here we are, yes, a well supervision of the fertilizer distribution. And I know 246 eka wo masem kro no aye bo no aba mu nyina mo ya wa ba bi efri ba mu ni mo oh omo the fertilizer adwane fa boda nyina you know them etia shase monitor sa akrofo ne mpane so mo na fertilizers ne nkankran na nka ha me fa nya adwuma. These are homegrown policies. You don't need the IMF. And so you better na high sloganeering na planting for food and just na one village there and there. Hey, madam no akambo mamo. I don't know this sir. I don't know this sir. We are talking about see making available modern farm implements. Asone second on aye ye. Etem eye nkurasesem aye ye. And ayetimi atena ha for over 50 years of her. China ya do koko ado me papa asankregwa me papa e wase kropon no koko enso ye ntimi antena se and developing machine ya edibo koko ya ntimi and developing machine ya edibo koko. China ba yeso obeye koko na no ya we developing machine ya edibo koko nefe etiyema eye implementation availability of modern day technology and implementation yen chance yen leo the youth to go into farming again. These are not things you need IMF to tell you. These are not things you need any World Bank or any France to tell you.
I was even asking, sir, Yama District Assembly be only farm, just for a beginning. Mama Yandani ya humra.